Imagine being alone in a foreign country. Your heart is racing, your eyes are scanning the room, and the feeling of being watched becomes unbearable. Suddenly, you run away. Without your suitcase, your cell phone, your passport, you cross the airport, jump a fence, and disappear into the middle of a forest, never to be seen again. This is the case of Lars Mittank, a young German man who disappeared inexplicably at Varna Airport in Bulgaria. Before we can understand what happened in Lars's last moments, we need to know the person behind this mystery. Who was he? And what could have led a healthy young man to disappear without a trace? Lars Mittank was born in Germany and leads an ordinary life. He worked as an engineer and enjoyed football. According to friends and family, he was a quiet young man with no history of psychological or criminal problems. In July 2014, I decided to travel to Bulgaria with a group of friends to enjoy the summer holidays. But this trip, which was supposed to be a fun time, would soon turn into a real nightmare. On June 28, 2014, Lars traveled with 5 friends to Varna, Bulgaria. It was his first trip outside Germany. The group was on vacation in Golden Sands, a popular seaside resort just outside the city of Varna. The week passed quickly. They enjoyed the beach, swimming, going to clubs, and watching football together. Until on July 6, 2014, the day before they were due to return home, Mittank and his companions were in a bar in the city, and Mittank got into a disagreement with some other German citizens about football. Lars Mittank was a young football enthusiast and a regular fan of SV Werder Bremen. Like any other young man his age, he just wanted to enjoy his vacation with his friends in one of the most exciting destinations in Bulgaria. But what was supposed to be a fun trip ended up turning into an unsolved mystery. That night, everything seemed normal. Crowded bars, loud music, and fans celebrating and taunting each other, as is always the case between rivals in football. At one point, Lars got into a heated argument with Bayern Munich fans. What started as a taunting exchange soon turned into something more serious. A short time later, Lars got separated from his friends outside a restaurant and disappeared. No one heard from him for the rest of the night. When he reappeared the next day, something was different. His face was drawn, his eyes were lost, and he had a strange and disturbing story to tell. Lars told his friends that after a fight at the bar, 4 men had chased him and brutally attacked him. He said they had been hired by the fans he had argued with the night before. The result? A jaw fracture and a ruptured eardrum. Still dazed and visibly shaken, Lars went to the doctor, who advised him not to fly until he was fully recovered. A change in cabin pressure could aggravate his injury. To treat an infection caused by the wound, the doctor prescribed an antibiotic called cefprozil, 500 milligrams. His concerned friends suggested canceling the trip and staying with him until he was better. But Lars insisted that he was fine and that he didn't want to disturb them. He was practically forced to follow his original plan and return to Germany, ensuring that he would be fine on his own. At that moment, no one could have imagined that this would be the last time they would see Lars Mittank. After saying goodbye to his friends, Mittank went to the Hotel Color Varna, which was close to the airport. The hotel was simple and cheap, perfect for a night before catching his flight the next day. But the next day, he started acting very strangely, as if he were paranoid, unable to understand what was happening to him. On one of the phone calls he made, he spoke to his mother, Sandra. She noticed right away that he was nervous and said that someone was trying to kill him, or at least rob him. He asked her to cancel his credit cards. His voice was full of fear, and the conversation was confusing, as if he no longer knew who he trusted. At the hotel, he paced back and forth, always looking out the windows, and seemed to hide inside the elevator, not knowing what to do. At 1 a.m., he left the hotel, but returned about an hour later. What he did in that time, no one knows. When daylight came, he called his mother again, still desperate, saying that the people chasing him were getting closer and closer. He seemed to really believe that they were after him and didn't know how to get rid of his panic. His behavior became increasingly strange, and it was clear that he was completely consumed by his own fears. What he was experiencing seemed real to him, but the line between what he was imagining and what was actually happening began to blur, making everything even more confusing. Mittank was last seen at Varna Airport on July 8, 2014, the very day he was supposed to catch his flight home to Germany. He texted his mother that he was already at the airport, but soon after he went to the office of a local doctor, Dr. Alexander Koss. The doctor later described Mittank's behavior as nervous and erratic. He said that when he was seen, Mittank seemed worried, but the doctor assured him that he was fine and that he could go home. Even so, Mittank seemed to not believe him, and he sat there in the office wondering about the medication he was taking. While he was talking to the doctor, a construction worker walked into the office. The airport was undergoing renovations at the time. It was then that Mittank began to become even more agitated. The doctor said he began to shake and in a fit of panic said, "I don't want to die here. I have to get out of here." Then he declared his disappearance without telling anyone and fled the office. Mittank left behind all his luggage. His wallet, cell phone, and passport were there, as if he had simply left without thinking. The airport security cameras recorded this moment. He ran out of the terminal, as if he were being chased by something or someone. Outside, he appeared in the images running desperately, until he climbed a fence, entered a meadow, and then took himself off the camera, heading towards a nearby forest. From that moment on, no one knows what happened to him. These were his last confirmed traces, and the mystery surrounding Mittank's disappearance only grows with the passing of the years. He seemed to be running away from something very real to him, but no one knows exactly what. Panic consumed him, and he simply disappeared. There is no definitive consensus among experts in Mittank's family about what actually influenced his strange behavior and how much his paranoia was connected to anything real. His mother, along with doctors in Bulgaria and Germany, believed that his unusual behavior could be caused by a rare side effect of an antibiotic he was taking, cefprozil. This drug, which is a cephalosporin, is known to cause psychotic side effects, such as hallucinations and paranoia. However, Dr. Kostov, who treated him at the airport, said that Mittank was not taking his medication. He didn't take the antibiotics. He didn't even pick up the prescription, the doctor said. So his behavior couldn't have been caused by that. I still can't understand what made him leave my office so desperate. To this day, I'm confused. Mittank's mother also said that he had no history of mental health problems, which made it all the more difficult to explain. However, some have suggested that Mittank's behavior could be the result of a mental breakdown caused by an unexplained mental illness, something he had never been shown to have before. The question is, what was going on with him at that moment? Was it just a psychotic occurrence of something physical, or was there something deeper going on in his mind, something he had never shown before? The answer remains a mystery. What happened to Mittank after he fled the airport is a complete mystery. The police were unable to find his fate, so his mother, Sandra, decided to hire a private investigator, Andreas Gudig, to try to find some clues. He checked hospital records, looking for unidentified patients, but found nothing that could help. Although Mittank had experience in outdoor activities such as hunting, fishing, and trapping, many doubt that he would have been able to survive for long in the wild, especially given the intense summer heat and lack of food. Mittank's mother always believed that he was still alive, perhaps having lost his memory and could not remember who he was or where he had been. Her hope never faded, but the mystery only grew with time. About a year after his disappearance, a truck driver claimed to have seen a man who looked like Mittank trying to hitchhike in Varna. Although there were other reports of sightings of him in different countries, none were confirmed. In 2019, an intriguing story emerged. A German truck driver said he had given a ride to a man who looked a lot like Mittank, but was older. The driver only learned about Mittank's story later, but when he looked at the man, he knew it was him. The man had long hair and a beard, and the driver described his eyes as tired and his cheekbones as very high. Could it really be Mittank? No one knows, and the search for answers continues. The feeling that he could be out there, but no one has been able to confirm his identity, only adds more mystery to this harrowing story. To this day, the disappearance of Lars Mittank remains an intriguing mystery that leaves a trail of unanswered questions. Is he living a new life somewhere, or was what happened to him something darker? We don't know, but one thing is certain. Lars' case cannot be forgotten. Now, we want to hear your opinion. What do you think really happened to Lars Mittank? Do you believe he is still alive, or is the case something more mysterious? Leave your comment below and share your theories. Who knows, together we can uncover more clues. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more mysteries and real stories like this one. See you in the next video.